Hi there. I did some channeling today. I had a lot of intense, like high energy messages come through, and so I'm going to relay those as clearly as possible. When I do individual readings, I'm here in the body talking to passed on loved ones, but when I'm doing channeling into the other realms, I remote view, I astral plane into my light body, and I travel. And so I'm going to share the messages from that kind of channeling today. Okay, so the downloads that I had today from traveling come from Lord Melchizedek, who is one of the members of the High Council and kind of like a spokesperson for those who kind of guard the High Council of the Divine. And he allows me to hear and see him, and then he guides me to where I need to go on the earth to receive the messages. So when I speak of him, I'm talking about a group of beings also who are a part of the Galactic Federation, who kind of oversee the workings of humanity and want to tune in to assist. And many of us came here as light workers. We volunteered to upgrade humanity, and then other parts of humanity are like human form. Okay, so number one, the first thing that came through was I was being shown South America, in the center of South America, and as I was taken there in remote view, I went like under the earth, and I was being shown like crystals or like earth resources, and I was in this place where there were some darker entities around that had it appeared that they had kind of been taking over these resources. And then I was shown that this used to be a place of connecting in ancient times, like Lemuria and Atlantis, that this place was a place of connecting to communication and travel to Lemuria. And so with that, they were talking about reigniting the crystal grid line. So in ancient times, this would have been like a very strong energy source of travel between locations, between beings. So with going to the center of South America, I was, as well as another light worker, we were being shown how to push back some of these dark entities and clear out this area so that that crystal grid line of communication and travel could be reignited. And so with that, I was being shown on the world map a line that went from near Hawaii, Lemuria, all the way to central South America. And I was being told that this grid line was opening up. It was being taken back as if it had been distorted over time by darker entities. And then I was being told that this is going to be a place of clear travel in the future. So they said in like a 6-year time frame, that within that 6 years, this place would be a place highlighted with kind of like protective energy. And I saw ships with resources going back and forth. And they were telling me that this would be like an unobstructed area where resources for survival could be utilized. And then they showed me what would be taking place outside of that protected area, which would be like a control of resources. And they just kept saying that this is very important to open up the energy of this place, the crystal grid line, for future travel and resources for humanity. Okay, so also when they take me to these places of the earth that need to be healed and restored and brought back to the highest frequency, I go back to my ancient self, and a lot of tribal chanting tends to come up, and this chanting has light codes in it that I've been told were brought here to assist humanity. In the process of channeling and doing healing energy over the earth and these crystal grid line locations, they brought to me what would be an earth song light code activation, and I'm going to put the link below if you'd like to listen to that. I was being guided to tell those listening that if you do listen to that, you'll feel upgrades in your system. And so, so that's the Earth Song light code activation. Okay, so I was being guided to share that 2 months from now, there's going to be some intense events, and I'm supposed to share this just so that you can prepare energetically. They said in 2 months from now that within a 3-week time frame, there's going to be, they gave me a list of 3 things that happened back to back. First, I kept seeing smoke, and I was being told this is a distraction, a threat, and I kept hearing the words Iran, Iraq, Iran, Iraq, and I landed on Iran, which led me to believe, that came out a lot stronger, that there would be some kind of threat or an attempt threat. I did see like a lot of smoke, and I was being told that it feels big even though it's a feeble attack. And then I saw right after that phones, like I saw a phone right in front of me, and the phones were glitching as if they weren't working properly. And then right after that I heard the word currency disruption, and I kept hearing the way it's used and blocked from, sorry, I have to read, my notes are when I'm channeling kind of messy. The way it's used and blocked from currency is being used, that this will cause a restructure in the form of currency. And I did keep seeing an image. I get a lot of imagery. I kept seeing an image of an outside arm, meaning from another country, reaching into the U.S., causing disruption and distortion. And so that's just something to look out for. But in bringing this message forward, the team wanted me to know, or wanted you to know that, you know, all these events happening will increase fear in people. And they're wanting you to know about it because they said don't lose sight of what is actually happening behind the scenes energetically, and how other beings are supporting us, and how there is an upgrade to Mother Earth and our bodies. And so they said even though these events feel big and scary, to keep realigning yourself and know that although these events occur, to restructure before the completion of the new Earth, just realign yourself and know that you're really supported. About 2 weeks ago, I was channeling, and a message was coming through about light bodies. And then in my channeling today, it came back through that I need to bring this up. And so right when I entered channeling this time around, I immediately heard, you know, my spirit team is like really funny. Like other beings are actually pretty funny. And I kept hearing the words, "Get on the Jet Express." And I was like, what is this? And then I was being told, Lord Melchizedek was kind of laughing and smiling, and he said it's like the tour bus. He says, we want them to know that we are giving them tours of the outer realms, other galaxies, so that they can experience these like this multi-dimensional approach to living. And so those of us who are light workers, we're really well aware of it because we didn't really come from here. He was specifically saying this for humans. This goes along with Elizabeth April's message when she was also talking about how the baton is being passed. The light workers have been carrying the load for a very long time to help humanity upgrade, and the other beings are saying, hey, it doesn't have to be this way anymore. And now we're upgrading humans who had originally been genetically modified. We are upgrading their cellular makeup so that they can be more in their light body, like Yeshua, Jesus, or like the other light workers, and they can experience the outer realms, and they can do the healing work here on earth, and they can maintain the frequency moving forward. And so when he said get on the Jet Express, he's talking about that humans are experiencing a lot of travel during dream time. And so your soul is you're astroplaning, leaving your body, going into the light body, and you're traveling during dream time, and you're experiencing the outer realms and becoming acquainted with the healing work, so that the light workers don't need to carry the load anymore, and the humans are going to carry the high frequency and know how to heal Mother Earth moving on forward. And it doesn't mean the light workers are going to stop, but the load won't be so heavy. And so if you're experiencing some odd dream time, or shifts in your experiences, like telepathy, having visions, the spiritual side of things, right? New experiences. This is what's happening. These cards came out, which I thought were really interesting. This first card here is like talking about like all the pain and the strife and the distortion that took place with the human body, the cellular genetic DNA makeup, but that people are being restored to their God consciousness, and that their gifts are going to be heightened. These are just some things to kind of look out for. They kind of came through as messages of like popcorn messages. I'm not exactly sure what they all mean, but you can see what comes up on the world stage. And I saw like an Asian culture, and then I heard the words kamikaze. So I don't know if this is literal or like referencing like the energy of kamikaze. And I started getting this energy in waves, and it was really intense and pretty dark. And then I connected with like a male tribal leader in Hawaii, energetically, and I heard him saying Malaki Heitu, Malaki Heitu, Malaki Heitu. And I looked up what Malaki means, and it means messenger of God. And in the Hawaiian culture, I couldn't find out what Heitu meant. So if you know of any reference to the word Heitu, like Haytu, that was the word. And then I heard another message come through that said the gig is up. And I saw a hand handing over files to the Pentagon. And then I heard the Secretary of State has an influence on this, and it's not good. And I'm going to say I actually am not very aware of politics. I actually try and remain neutral because of the channeling. Like, I don't want to get clouded in any way based on any like kind of bias or what I would prefer to follow. I just want to stay really clear. And so as I heard Secretary of State has an influence on this and it's not good, I did see an image of Nancy Pelosi. See, I don't know a lot about this, but it felt distorted, and it felt a bit yucky. And then I heard the word manipulation over and over. Manipulation. And then I heard manipulation exposure. And right as I heard manipulation exposure, a notification came through about Bill Clinton testifying in the Epstein files. So just some things to kind of feel out and look for, see what comes up. But take or leave these messages. I'm just guided to share them. So I'm just sending a lot of love and healing energy to you, and just a reminder to stay focused in your heart center and your highest self as these things are taking place, and know that good is coming and the new earth is forming, and sending lots of light and love to you.